This moonlighting evening live stream is going to be pretty casual and just a bit of a checkpoint, just a bit of a stop in. But I said I was coming on and I just decided to come on, and I will be on at regular scheduled time tomorrow. And I'll just bring you just a little bit. There's a little bit of a casualness to this stream, but we may hit on a few points, maybe a little bit of response. We'll jump right in. And welcome to this moonlight stream. It's just going to be a short moonlight stream, just a bit of a checkpoint to just check in with you guys. I did not get in to do the regularly scheduled live stream, so I may just hit on a few points from what from these program that I was going to do, and that was going to come from potentially we talk a little bit about the Missouri governor on the pardon that he's maybe projecting, or maybe he anticipates that there would be. And it looks like, of course, the city of Portland is heating up. So those were the main stories that I was going to get to earlier today, but I did not quite make it back. So I do apologize for that. But would like to say shout out to the loyal patrons as well as you, the subscribers. Hi, Chrysler Imperial H. How are you? Thank you so much for coming in. Really appreciate you. And shout out to the loyal patrons, Derek C. Williams, Killer Real Channels, Definition of Anarchy, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, as well as the Angels Army. I have to catch that name change, as well as Gary L. Youngkees Jr. Thank you guys so much for your support and for keeping the housekeeping in mind when you come in. I appreciate that. If you could hit that like button or unlike button, there to share, or make sure you still subscribe to the channel. That's definitely helpful for Channelytics. I really appreciate that. But certainly tomorrow will be regular schedule things. I'll just get into just a little bit of I'll just show a few cultural things on this moonlight stream, and maybe getting to one story. But yeah, I'm not saying that it's totally. Yeah, well, it was a bit of a mishap over the weekend, and I had to. It involved the DMV, so so anytime I have to do something at the DMV, it kind of just throws everything, and of course the lines are wrapped around the building. If we have time, I'll get into just a little bit of a story exclusively to California on some mask restrictions. I believe. I think it may come out of Northern California. Maybe, I'm not sure. But we might get into that just a little bit. But I thank you so much for coming in, Chrysler Imperial H. Thank you so much. I know it's late, so that's hence the name Moonlighting. Hi, alien believers. How are you? Thank you so much for coming in at the 11th hour. And for one, I just wanted to say, I think I posted quite a few clips on the Beverly Beatty and Edme Chavez. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but yeah, I did post quite a few things on just basically just kind of follow their stories as their own individual updates came in. But I tell you, the last one was pretty brutal, and I know I think these girls are pretty much. They're standing up for what they believe in, and they do not take they don't take anything lying down. So for those that, anybody that's swiping at them, they're coming right back at you. So if you can dish it, I hope you can take it, because it's definitely, I remember that last, one of their last responses, they basically responded to, I guess, some people that were maybe not so favorable or not speaking very optimistic about them. But that's, here again on this channel, this is not the channel for for the lack of a better phrase, this is not a judgment channel, and this is not a skeptical, this is not the channel for, it's not the channel for judgment calls, because I've said this before, that no matter what your beliefs are, whether it's Christian beliefs or whether you're not Christian, or whether you are, no matter what your spiritual beliefs are, you're going to support what you support, and you're going to believe what you believe. And here it was definitely important to see what was going on. And like I said, this channel has reported on these girls before. So, and they actually have a ministry. So, I'm sure we haven't heard the last from them. I do, but finally, I would say that, sorry about this, but finally, I would say that I think that, everybody doesn't agree with maybe their actions, but the applause from me comes from courage. It takes courage to do anything. It takes courage to start every day. So I can applaud someone's courage, but not necessarily the means of what they do. Would I go out and do any type of painting over anything? No. Would I suggest anyone else do that? No, I wouldn't. But I can say that was still their choice to do what they did. And like I said, people will respond as they do, and they know what's out there. And that's they know what's out there. So sure, like I said, I'm sure we'll hear more from them. And that's that. In fact, I might have some other update from them already. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to this moonlighting segment of Black Spring. So we'll just have a look at a couple of things. Shout out to everybody in the stream. Shout out to Alien Believer. Shout out to Chrysler Imperial H. Thank you so much, Chrysler, for coming in. I really appreciate all you do. And I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming in. So let me see. What do I want to do? What I want to get into is, it looks like Governor Parsons from Missouri. He spoke out about pardoning that he talked about in relation to the McCloskeys. And of course, I had a segment for you on Owen Schroyer taking on some protesters. And then I had Leo Terrell speaking out again. So of course, if you're not familiar with Leo Terrell, I mean, he's been on quite a few times on many channels, which he usually has he has quite a bit of, rage. It appears to be rage, but he's pretty intense when you see Leo Terrell. But he's taken a position that he's actually supporting the president. So a lot of people find that to be stunning. And a lot of people have been, he's been well received in that regard. So I think I have something from him as well. And shout out to Killer Whale Channels and Alien Believers and everyone that's coming in. Thank you guys so much for coming in. And I will say tomorrow will be a regular schedule. This is just a bit of a night check, night sign in, if you will. So yeah, a little bit of a night owl, maybe just a little bit, not a whole lot. So let's get into the story with Governor Parsons. I think he was called out. He's been called out a couple of times as maybe being a coward, or he's been called out. Shout out to the definition of anarchy. Shout out to you. And so we'll see what happens with Governor Parsons, and I have a couple of more stories here. So thank you guys so much for coming in at this 11th hour. All right, so we'll start with this comes from the St. Louis Today, and looks like he's taken a position to, which it might be maybe it's 11th hour for him. Is why he was given some pushback or some blowback. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of background on this, and then this is coming from the St. Louis Today. The Parson, the governor of Missouri, says McCloskey's quote had every right to wave guns and shout at the protesters. And I'll give you a little bit of context I'll give you a little bit of the premise for this, for the position. And there's a castle doctrine that kind of goes along with this. I think that doctrine is unique in some ways, but here it's just opening up a little bit. It says the Jefferson City, the day after his predecessor suggested he was a coward for not sending the highway patrol to defend Mark and Patricia McCloskey, Governor Mike Parsons said the St. Louis couple, quote, had every right, end quote, to wave guns and shout at the protesters near their property. And Parsons said Tuesday he has always stood up for the Second Amendment, and that as a member of the Missouri House, he sponsored the state's revamped castle doctrine, which gives homeowners more leeway to shoot people on their property. All right, so the governor appeared to be responding to sharp criticism from former Governor Eric Greitens, perhaps, during an appearance Monday night on Fox News. Tucker Carlson Tonight Show asked why the current governor, didn't come to the aid of the McCloskeys. Greitens said, quote, "You have a cowardice problem," end quote. All right, so we'll get into some more name calling. It's going to come from it comes from the other side of the aisle. Little jabs going on. So thank you guys so much for joining me on this segment. If things get a little buffery, I'll just reset. And hi, Newman Outdoors. Nice to see you. I got your message from earlier. You said you're in Ohio and I'm on late, but I really appreciate that, Newman Outdoors. I used to see you quite a bit on these later streams, but but no less. I really appreciate it. So let's look at the coverage here just a little bit. Once again, thanks so much, guys, for joining me on this segment, After Hours.
I felt like a hypocrite, helping people get better, and I wasn't doing the same for myself. I had to get help for my depression. It feels great.
McCloskey situation in St. Louis. First of all, as governor of this state, I have always, and never waived on the Second Amendment. I have a lengthy history of that, where I've never waived from the Second Amendment. When the Castle Doctrine was introduced in the state of Missouri, myself and Representative Kenny Jones, two former sheriffs, were the ones that developed the Castle Doctrine here in Missouri that actually went to be the national model, which is the exact one the McCloskeys were defending their property with in St. Louis, which they had every right to do under the Castle Doctrine. Law enforcement on that night was available. We weren't notified through the governor's office, through the highway patrol was not notified of that situation. However, that being said, that couple had every right to protect their property. They have the ability to do that as private citizens like everyone else. But what they should not go through is a prosecutor attempting to take their constitutional rights away by filing charges against them for protecting their property. In Missouri, it is very difficult to do anything to someone that is elected official on removing them from office. It's very difficult. One of the things that we need to address in future sessions. I just got off the phone with the President of the United States before I walked out here today. He understands the situation in Missouri. He understands the situation in St. Louis and how out of control it is for a prosecutor to let violent criminals off and not do their job and try to attack law-abiding citizens. The conversation I had with the president said that he would do everything he could within his powers to help with this situation, and that he would be taking action to do that. I'm thankful that he's getting involved in this situation. I'm thankful that he's going to stand up for people on their legal rights, and we're going to move forward in this state. Tomorrow, we'll be talking about special session. We're going to be talking about violent crime. We're going to be about time changes need to be made. But things have to change in this state. And if people are going to take an oath, just like I did when I was a sheriff, to do your job, you need to do a job. You need to serve justice equally for all, and you need to abide by the laws and the Constitution. I want to
All right, guys, once again, thank you so much for joining in on this Moonlighting live stream after hours. Thanks so much, guys, for coming in as far as the East Coast. And I'm not sure if anybody else is, anybody's joining me from, I don't know, anywhere else, Europe or Haiti. Shout out to you. Shout out to Killer Whale Channel. Shout out to Adrian. It's been a lifetime. Nice to see you. Alien Believers, Definition of Anarchy, Killer Whale Channels, Chrysler Imperial H. Thank you guys so much for coming in on this late hour. But there you had the governor of Missouri. So, I think that story is going to be, once again, there's another story it's just going to be a developing story. It seems like that's where we are. Most of these stories are not, it's not a beginning and then just a quick cap and you're off to the next story. It's going to be breaking for a long time until the next story breaks, but this one is not quite done. And I think the same thing could be very well said for things that are developing in Portland, because I think they were on the heels of the Chaz and the Chop Zone at the time that they were, when that was in the beginnings. So we'll see what else happens there. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for joining me on this moonlighting session, moonlighting segment. So here again, I'll give you a little bit of verbiage from the Missouri Castle Doctrine. Okay, it says Missouri recognizes the, quote, Castle Doctrine, end quote, and allows residents to use force against intruders without the duty to retreat, based on the notion that your home is your castle, quote, castle, end quote. This legal doctrine assumes that if an invader disrupts the sanctity of your home, they intend to do you harm, and therefore you should be able to repel their advances. Missouri's law is more extensive than the law in other states because it permits property owners to use the amount of force reasonably perceived as necessary, including deadly force. However, case law suggests it does not go so far as permitting the use of deadly force to merely protect property. In 2016, the Missouri Court of Appeals for the Eastern District held in State versus Whipple that deadly force under the Castle Doctrine can only be used when you reasonably believe such force is necessary to protect yourself or someone else from, quote, the use or imminent use of unlawful force, end quote. Ultimately, it's an unclear issue that will likely need further clarification by the state judiciary or legislature. So there again, the saga continues. with the McClowskys. So, yep, that's what I have for you on that. Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in on this 11th hour. So I'll take you to the next point, which would include, we're going to have a little bit of, this is a bit of a tidbit. It looks like, I don't know if I shared this already, but looks like Uncle Tom, the movie Uncle Tom, is #1 on IMDb. I believe it is IMDb. And so I guess shout out to the participants, or to the, I don't want to call them actors because it's a documentary. So I think they were as candid as they could be, and I think that you could connect with the language there. You could connect with the language there for sure. From the testimony, you got a lot of testimonies, and let me not give away the movie. If anybody, or the documentary, if anybody's going out to watch or making an effort to watch that. So I just thought that was a bit of tidbit there. And also congratulations to Lieutenant Colonel Allen West on his victory. He was victorious in the Republican chair of the GOP in Texas, but not without criticism, and not without attacks. So in fact, I will bring you that clip. I will bring you that a bit of that for you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. If you're just coming in, if you could do a bit of that housekeeping and hit the like or unlike button, or the share, or make sure you're still subscribed. I guess that's pretty much throwing caution to the wind too. So I will bring you the clip, or the reaction that you might be interested in. There's nothing new under the sun, as I say regularly, but this is even a little bit low for, I assume this is Democrats or whomever. I'm sure it's not the first time, but I'm going to share this with you guys. Thank you guys so much again for coming in on this segment. So we'll share that with you, and then we'll have some other clips. Shout out to Chrysler Imperial H. Shout out to Medicity. Shout out to you. I'm not sure if I'm familiar with you, but thank you so much for coming in. All right, so let's go to that clip, and then we'll have a little bit of Owen Schroyer. If you guys aren't familiar with Owen Schroyer, I'm not sure if Owen Schroyer works for InfoWars, or if he did work for them, and then he's kind of doing his own thing. He's got his own independent platform. I think he has his own platform, but no less. All right, so let's go to that. Let's go to this. So this is actually, I caught this from somebody else's page, but it's still interesting to see such remarks. Okay. All right. So this is coming from, looks like, the opposing side. I mean, this is the quote: "We're disgusted but not surprised that Texas Republicans chose a certified racist conservative hardliner like Allen West as their new chairman." State Democratic Party spokesman Abi Rahman said in a statement, quote, "West is everything that is wrong with the Republican Party and brings to light their failures on building an inclusive, welcoming party that is deliberate and thoughtful in handling crisis situations," end quote. Ay. Well, I mean, that's a little bit, I mean, it's not, to me, it's jab. It's a jab, but to call him a a racist conservative hardliner, I mean, talk about evasive. any minute now. Tell us how you really feel. I mean, certified racist conservative hardline. That's four. Four shots. So, which, I mean, congratulations to Lieutenant Colonel Allen West. I'm sure he's not going to entertain such garbage. But, that's what they do. It's a political season, and it's what they do during these times. But I'm sure he'll have a response. If maybe not, maybe he'll. It's just a bit. It's a bit much. So, thank you guys so much once again for Medicity. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It says we need real conservatives. Well, I can say, Lieutenant Colonel Allen West, he actually served. He's already been a statesman in Florida for 1 year. He was, and I mean, he's a decorated combat veteran with plenty of accolades. Shout out to you, Kimone Reed, Unstoppable. Says hello, happy night, everyone. Happy night to you. Good evening to you. Thank you so much for coming in on this late moonlighting. I call it moonlighting stream here. But yeah, so I do think, for one, I do believe that Lieutenant Colonel Allen West, I do believe he's a real conservative. I do. And in fact, he's got a pretty, when he served, he had a higher record than most Republicans and Democrats. His voting record was much higher than most on both sides. So I just think that they're just doing what they do to be divisive and hateful and projection. Always projection. So let's just see. But Texas is very important, and I want to get into Texas, but it's heavy enough. It's too heavy for a moonlight stream. So I will hold Texas for another time. But yes, it's very important that Texas not go from purple, because I'm pretty sure it's pretty purple right about now. So we'll see what happens there. Shout out to Killer Whale Channels. All right, so let's go on to the next. All right, so this next clip we're going to have some actual footage on this next one. Now I will say, this is a disclaimer. There will be some profanities and obscenities in this clip, but what can you expect? So thank you guys so much again for joining me on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. I'm going to bring you that just 1 minute. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I'm pretty sure I have that. I have it here already. Give me just 1 second. I may switch gears and go to, I don't want to go to that clip. Apologize, guys, a little bit bouncing around a little bit. Let's see. Shout out to everybody that's in the stream. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Let me get to this next one. All right. All right, so I'm going to bring you to the clip here. And so, yeah, so this will be one that'll be kind of loaded with, some profanities, obscenities. You know the drill. But who would they be? Okay, so here we go. I'm going to bring you a protest right now.
They come out here and they block the entrance. So this is what they do. The left-wing agitators come out here and they block the entrance so that we can't go in there. So they claim to be all about liberation and free speech and all this stuff, and then they literally block you from going into an event. They literally stop you from being able to enter the event. So they're here sabotaging at the event here. Let's look. So hey guys, did they shut this down when the left wing showed up and blocked it?
They won't let us in. They want in.
Oh, so let me get this straight. The liberals.
Nobody gives a fuck about what you gotta say.
Let's give the genius a round of applause. And who are you?
Nigga, I'm Kyle Bonnet.
I'm sorry, what?
My name is Kyle Bonnet. What did you say before that? You heard me.
Oh, wow, so you're racist?
I'm allowed to say that.
Why is that?
Because I'm a part of the community.
What community?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Are you just here with your little Trump, little racist pieces of shit?
Your president.
Your president.
This guy just dropped an N-word.
Your president is a child molester.
Oh, really?
Let's get that.
Oh, yeah, let's get it.
Hillary Clinton. Come on. All of our legal presidents and all that bullshit, they are all corrupt. This is a corrupt system.
So why is the whole system against Trump?
This whole shit right here is not about fuck Trump. It's about let's get shit right as Americans.
Well, why does the whole system hate Trump?
Let's get shit right as Americans.
Why does the whole system hate Trump?
Nobody.
Hollywood hates Trump. Mainstream news hates Trump. Major League Sports hate Trump. The entire establishment hates Trump.
Because pieces of shit like you come around and push your agenda.
You realize I'm totally banned and censored.
Have a good night.
Let's give him a round of applause. Hey! Yeah. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a Democrat voter.
Did you guys know your president is a rapist?
Oh, here we go. Oh, let's hear it. Tell me about it.
Not only that, your president didn't allow a black family to move in because they were black. Not only did he call Mexicans coming from across the border rapists, drug dealers, and everything else.
You know, I feel bad for these people. They've literally fallen for every lie of the mainstream news. Every single lie. Every single lie.
Shut up, you Aryan army. Shut the fuck up. I don't care.
It's unbelievable.
I don't care. I don't care.
It's really sad, man. It's really sad. So again, another example. All these people come out here totally hyped up by the mainstream news. They come out here and they literally use every talking point of the mainstream news. And then they stop our right from having an event. And now they're starting a fight over here. This is the left wing in America. These people hate freedom, they hate truth, they hate God, and the reality is they hate themselves. And the fact that you don't hate yourself is what drives them crazy. And that's why they insult you all day long to get you to hate yourself. Well, we don't hate ourselves, and we don't hate America. But look at this. They stop us from having an event. Think about this. The left wing in this country is allowed to murder in the streets, burn things, riot, destroy businesses, tear down monuments, all of it. They get away with all of it. And Trump supporters want to have a peaceful event, and they stop us from having it. Let's get a look-see inside here. USA! 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 Oh yeah, come say that to my face.
I want to hear
Come
you.
over here, let's go. How am I full of shit?
I said,
How am I full of shit?
you don't need to shout.
Well, you have a mask on, so I can't hear you.
You can hear me if you listen.
Take your mask off, boy.
I'm not taking my
Are you
mask
afraid of a virus?
I'm afraid of your breath, number
Are you
one.
afraid of a virus?
Number two, yes.
Are you a
I
slave?
would not like to get a virus.
Are you a slave?
That makes sense.
You really think you're going to get a virus?
Yeah.
That mask isn't working for shit, buddy.
So yes, what I said, which you asked me so kindly to say to your face was, InfoWars is full of shit.
Yeah.
And I say that because
Say it with a face mask on.
It's your opinion, yeah. It's
okay.
I respect your opinion.
Can I talk?
Here's the guy. Yeah. Well, let's hear it.
So this is why I have some beef with you guys. All right. What ended up happening after I was live streaming the whole thing? Were you live streaming the whole thing over there? You were?
Yeah, live all day.
Okay, good. So then you knew and saw that this gentleman was not being pushed by people.
Oh, I wasn't being pushed.
I witnessed it. I spoke to
Let him lie.
Okay, well, if you guys want to do that, everyone that's been watching the live
So
stream.
you're denying?
What?
You're denying. Listen, hold on. Let's see if he's really this delusional.
Yes.
You're denying that this whole thing was peaceful until these people showed up?
No, I'm not denying any of that.
Okay, so they did disturb the peace. So they did disturb the peace. He just admitted it. All right.
No, they did not disturb the peace. What I
They did disturb the peace,
I walked
and then they
over there.
stopped our right to assemble.
no, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
No,
I was all these symbols trying to go to the chest rally.
but there's another entrance.
Okay,
No.
they did. They
This is
blocked
the main
this one.
entrance.
They blocked
There's
this one.
multiple entrances.
This is the main entrance. Try and say
Pretty
come down
simple.
here.
So you blocked an entrance.
So it's protest.
Okay, so you stopped our right to assembly.
That's
So our right to assemble is stopping your right to assemble? Wow, you're fucking
Well, what are we
intelligent.
supposed to do? Should we just knock you out of our way?
Go around. You have an option.
Why? I have an option to knock you out then.
Then do it. If you're a
I'm
bitch,
not a violent
go ahead.
person.
Okay, well
I'm
then
not
go
a violent
around.
violent.
Unlike you guys, we don't burn things to the ground.
I
We
haven't
don't
burned
loot.
shit to
We
the
don't
ground.
murder police.
Do not
We don't
generalize
take
me.
down Confederate statues.
I'm sorry, but what about the two people that did murder? A federal guard and a sheriff's deputy in Santa Cruz?
InfoWars doesn't listen to real news. It's InfoWars.
Yeah, we're just next year's news today. That's all.
Yeah, that makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
we're the cutting edge in media.
King of psychosis.
That's
Good
why
job.
we're the most censored out there. And you guys are out here falling for brainwashed, moronic talking points.
Yes, sheep calling the sheep.
Afraid of a fake virus. These people are afraid of a fake virus.
So do you believe that there have been Americans that have died from COVID-19?
Sure, the Americans die from the flu every year, pneumonia and everything.
Yeah, people die from it.
Do you wear a mask to stop yourself from getting the flu?
I tried to prevent.
So you're going to wear a mask the rest of your life?
There's a cure.
Look at this guy. He can't even keep the mask on his face. You're a clown, man.
Yeah.
You are just a clown. You are a slave. You know that?
I'm a slave.
You guys are slaves out here wearing a mask. That's what you are. You're slaves to the mainstream media. You're slaves to your own hatred.
I don't get a slave to the mainstream. I don't watch the mainstream.
Yeah, I don't
Why do
either.
you wear a mask?
Why? Because
Because science. Yeah, scientists.
You wear that mask all year long.
Yeah, he's gonna wear his mask forever. Hey, the new slaves, guys! The new slaves, they never take their mask off. Congratulations!
I think they said put that on in 1995.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, you did.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
Hey, yeah. Thanks for showing us your true colors. You got it, buddy. You probably thought Hillary would win too, didn't you? Yeah. You probably like Epstein too, don't you? Yeah. I bet you love Joe Biden too. You love old Joe. Oh, this guy loves old Joe. What, buddy? Keep putting your mask on your face, dude. Keep putting your mask on your face. All right, just keep putting your mask. Exactly.
Keep
You're a
repeating the
fucking
same
clown.
shit. Keep
You're a
repeating the
fucking
same
clown.
shit.
Fucking shit.
Keep repeating the same
I
shit.
feel bad for you. I really feel bad.
Racism. How about you just said the N-word, you idiot. You're stupid, dude.
I really feel bad for this guy. That's all right, buddy. You know what? Someday you may grow up.
Hey, I was that dumb when I was your age.
I remember I used to pay my body when I was 13.
You'll get a good job and you'll fucking grow
It's
up.
just an arrested development out here. These people just need to grow up. Grow up. Grow up. This is America. Get a job. Start a business. Start a family. Quit acting like damn clowns. Quit acting like slaves to the mainstream media. You know that mask isn't protecting you from shit, right? You know that mask doesn't protect you from anything, right? Or are you just hiding your face because you want to commit a crime out here?
Are you a physician? Are you a doctor?
Huh?
What's your degree?
Can't hear you. You got a mask on your head.
What is your degree?
Can't hear you. You got a mask.
What is your degree?
Take your mask off if you want to talk to me like a man.
I am a PhD, man.
Well, it looks like they've cut the audio on this. You notice that? It's like we're going all, all signs, all systems go, and then you get cut.
They come out.
Cut.
They come out.
So you see the censorship is real, right? Okay, so once again, I'd like to thank everybody for joining me on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. Thank you so much, Keith, the Faith. Appreciate you so much for coming in. So I do believe that was, and maybe they discovered that was Owen Schroyer from InfoWars or his affiliation with InfoWars. Who knows? Who knows? But I do know that I think the four CEOs of the powers that be, or the top tech, big tech, will be going to Capitol Hill, I think, in maybe just a couple of weeks from now. And I guess we'll see what happens with that. I do believe Jim Jordan issued a statement about that appearance. They will be appearing before the Judiciary Committee, because I think you guys know by now, I do believe that Mark Zuckerberg has already been before, I believe, this committee, and he kind of got away with, or he got out of the hot water, if you will, that he was on the verge of being in. So I'm not sure if this time it's going to work out for him. So we'll see what happens. Not really sure. I do believe there was some type of executive order that came up maybe about a month or two ago. I'm not sure about, executive orders or even government getting involved in these types of issues, because once it might look good, it might feel good, but the effect and the intent always, the rubber meets the road. You'll find out where it meets, because as soon as the shoe's on the other foot or the pendulum swings back, you'll find out. Unfortunately, I think you'll find out what nationalizing or centralizing power and government getting involved in things, and what that's actually going to do. Shout out to Keith the Faith. So just looking at these monstrosities makes me feel some type of way. Yeah, but it got banned right at the end there. So speaking of that, I'm going to take you to another story right now, which involves a bit of some masking in California, or unmasking. So shout out to everybody that's in the stream. Thank you guys so much for coming into this 11th hour Moonlight stream. So I'm going to take you to another story. I hope you guys are doing well. Shout out to everybody. Thank you guys for doing your due diligence on the like or unlike button. Really appreciate it. So I have some audio and some coverage for you. Now, this next story is this one's actually coming from Fox News. But it says a California restaurant discouraging customers from wearing masks. This report reveals it's by David Aro of Fox News. And so we'll see what that looks like. So thank you guys so much for coming in on this segment. Alien believers. Alien believer says there's a lot of people saying there's an asteroid about to hit. Ooh. That's a heavy one, alien believers. Let's see. We'll get back to that. I'll come back to that. So let's go to the restaurant. Let's see. We'll find out what restaurant that is. Okay. So it looks like, let's get right into this one. This is a Northern California restaurant. It's accused asking customers to remove their mask. All right, so here we go. We'll see if this one gets blocked. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this 11th hour Moonlighting stream. Appreciate you guys all the same. Thank you so much. All right, guys, that's not quite what I had in mind on that one. But we do have some other reactions from around the country regarding the mask. So we'll see what happens with those. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for joining me on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. We'll take you to the story of Costco and maybe a couple of other of your favorite department stores or favorite grocers. Thanks so much, guys.
When I first saw this product, I thought it looked kind of crazy.
Is going to be an interesting question. Davis Sunsman, an attorney who works with business owners, is helping us unmask the law. As long as businesses are enforcing that in a non-discriminatory manner, as long as they're requiring everyone to wear a mask, they have the right on their premises to say, if you want to shop here, you have to wear a mask. And unfortunately, there's a lot of misunderstanding about what rights we have and who we have them against. That's not something that the Constitution gives you a right to protect. You can exercise your right by not shopping at that particular store. Thursday, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry announced face coverings will be mandatory in indoor public spaces. When it's you as, an individual owner or the individual employees of an owner trying to enforce something, it can sometimes be hard. It's a lot easier when you can say this is a law. The new law, which goes into effect next week, says masks will be required for anyone over the age of 2 inside stores, hotels, government buildings, schools, and rec facilities. It's going to give these business owners and their employees kind of an additional argument for it. It's not just me as the clerk at Costco asking you to do this. It's me telling you there's a law in the city of Minneapolis that says you can't do this. How can the mayor do this when a week ago Governor Walz says we don't have time to police people and make sure they wear masks? I'm not going to make it mandatory in the state of Minnesota. It is difficult and it is wrong to ask the folks who
trying to protect the folks who are kind of most exposed to be their own police. I think that's probably part of what the mayor and the city are trying to do, is to take a little bit and say, you know, it's not this person that's telling you what to do. Don't shoot this messenger. We're making this law. And if you have a problem with it, come to us. The question is going to be, and the issue is going to be, each individual business owner is going to have a plan for what happens if someone doesn't comply.
The mayor said today violating that law could result in a misdemeanor charge, or if you run a business, action against your license. Back to you.
So what does this mean for buses and trains in the city of Minneapolis? Well, I asked Metro Transit. They already have a requirement that they put out last week that riders are supposed to wear facial coverings as well. Now, by saying that, they also said they aren't kicking people off if they don't comply. They are hoping riders just voluntarily follow their rules.
You can always.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this segment of Black Screen with Autumn. So there you go. You see what I've referred to from another reference, which I'm not the originator of this, but the anticipatory obedience. They anticipate that you're going to comply, and you are showing them, when you do, what's possible. And that is something that we've seen in history before. So that's, I'm not sure what's happening around in other areas. I've heard of some things, but did you hear the extreme? Did you hear the recourse, action against your driver's license? Yeah, but I'm not sure. I don't think she said, I don't remember a citation, but actions against your driver's license or something else. And that's for Minneapolis. That's Mayor Fry. He can't quite handle protesters, insurgencies, or rioters, but hey, he can ding your driver's license. He can do other things to you. He can do other things to other people for not wearing a mask. So pick that up. Shout out to you, Keith the Faith says, is that a pat? Not sure I know the red. I have an idea, but not quite. So I won't go there. What kind of SJ News was that? SJW News was that? Well, not sure, but let's go now to Leo Terrell. I mentioned him earlier. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for joining me on this Moonlight stream. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Thank you guys so much for hitting that like bell or the unlike bell. We take all bells and thumbs around here. So we're going to bring you some testimony and some attestations from civil rights attorney Leo Terrell. I think last time I showed Leo Terrell, I think he and Dr. Cornel West were having a bit of a heated exchange. I think it was the evening of George Floyd's funeral. So let's see what Terrell has to say. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Apologize for the delay, but this is Terrell on his current position, and he's going full force. So take it or leave it. What you get is what you got.
Now, just earlier you said that you support President Donald Trump. I want to hear from you personally why all of a sudden you came out in support of him.
Let me be very clear about why I support the president. I want everyone to hear this. In the last 3 years, Donald J. Trump has done more for people of color than the Obama-Biden administration for 8 years. Let me give you some examples. Donald Trump funded historically black colleges. Donald Trump passed a law, the First Step Law, that reversed the mass incarceration that Joe Biden did in 1994. Donald Trump signed an executive order for police reform. And then you have a black South Carolinian Republican Senator, Tim Scott, who tried to get legislation in the Senate. Guess what? 2 black Democrats, Kamala Harris and Cory Booker, stopped that legislation. Donald Trump can help people of color. I'm begging Democrats, people of color, to leave the Democratic Party and vote Republican and vote for Donald Trump, because I do not want chaos in the city and throughout this country.
All right, so right.
All right, so that was Leo Terrell, and I think Leo Terrell, when he comes out, he's always intense, no less, and so there you have that. So I guess I anticipate some more to come from Leo Terrell. He's making a lot more statements around the country, even on platforms that he has not participated in previously. In fact, I've seen him on Fox News before, and yeah. So there you go. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for joining me on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. It says, Keith the Face says, it's a Pat, a skit from the older SNL that was funnier. Leo said he's voting for Trump. All right. Also, we have, holy smokes. Okay, got something going on there. All right. Shout out to you guys. I'll have to look it up. I'll have to look it up. I thank you guys so much for coming in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. Let's see. Okay, I think I have at least one more for you guys. Like I was going to just pass this whole skit for today, but I figured why not? So I think we have one more. Hope everybody's doing well. And just do a brief shout out. Shout out to loyal patrons, whether you're in the stream or if you're out there somewhere. Shout out to Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, Definition of Anarchy, Angels Army. And that's the former Angels, the Angel Munez Variety Show. I make sure I get that name change in for you. Thank you so much for all you do. Shout out to Gary L. Youngkees Jr. Shout out to Little Miss Goth and Chrysler Imperial H. Thank you guys so much. And an extra special shout out to Cold War Jesus. Appreciate everything you do. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for coming out on this 11th hour on this stream. So I think we have one more. Just one more. Thank you guys for all of your support. Oh, let's see, what do I have? I wanted to show you another stream that includes, actually it's quite new. This is, I guess it's kind of a follow-up. It's a follow-up. It's not a reaction to anything, but we'll see. I think there's something else from the Beverly Beatty. I think there's something else there. Keep the faith. Thank you so much. So I'm going to take you to that. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for joining me on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. So I think there's going to be a lot more to come from Miss Beatty and okay. So we'll have this and then we will round it out. We will loop it up and round it out. on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. I'll see you guys tomorrow after this clip. Really appreciate you guys for coming in. So let's go and let's just have a look and see what Miss Beatty has right now. Now, here again, I will say this. This it's not necessary that I make this disclaimer, but this is not a spiritual or a Christian show, but this is the position of Miss Beatty and Edmi Chavez. So take it or leave it.
Explain my title. I said, and I mean what I say when I say this. If you support, hi everybody, hi. My nails are still black. I gotta go get my nails done tomorrow. Listen, you guys. If you, as a person, supports Black Lives Matter, the statement or even the movement, if you're white, you hate Black people, and if you're Black, you hate yourself. And if you're a Christian, or even if you're not a Christian, you hate Jesus. And I'm going to tell you why. Let's break down something real quick. First and foremost, Black Lives Matter do not support the nuclear family, okay? The nuclear family is man, woman, children, okay? And this is the way God ordained it, okay? So because they do not support the nuclear family off GP, they don't support Black men. Black Lives Matter hates Black men. And I'm not surprised. It was founded by 3 women, 2 were lesbians, and I think 1 was a feminist, okay? So strike 1. They do not support the Black man. They do not support a nuclear family with the Black man being the leader of the family. So though the organization is called Black Lives Matter, they don't support Black men. That's straight 1. We know for a fact that the biggest issue we're dealing with right now in the Black community is the lack of fathers. Fatherlessness is one of the biggest problems, okay? So follow me. Number 2, Black Lives Matter supports Planned Parenthood, and they support choice, okay? Abortion is the number 1 killer of African American or Black American people. It's the number 1 killer of Black people as a whole, okay? 28 million already and counting, average to about 675,000 babies a year, okay? On top of that, BLM supports the LGBTQ agenda. Let me explain something to you. 2 women cannot reproduce and properly raise a baby. 2 men cannot reproduce and properly raise a baby. God gave a man a stick and he gave a woman a hoe. When you put the 2 together, a baby comes out of it. Okay, it's kind of like a lock and key. You know, if the key goes in and it don't unlock it, then that ain't the right key. In the same way, a man has a key and a woman got the lock, and when they connect, a baby comes forth. Anything less than that is abnormal. I don't care what nobody has to say about it. It's abnormal. Okay, this is reality. On top of that, follow me. Black Lives Matter, okay, pushes to defund the police, right? Why do they push that? Because they believe, okay, Black men are being unjustly killed by white cops. So a lot of Black people assume, oh man, we just getting killed by police all the time. They killing us, they killing us, they killing us. But y'all liars. I'm gonna tell you why y'all liars. Because y'all know for a fact that when y'all go in your own neighborhoods, we killing ourselves. We killing ourselves. Okay? Uh Last year, 9 Black men, and check my numbers, they might be a little off, but around 9 Black men were killed due to white cops, and justly killed because of white cops. 9. Okay? Now, I just told you how many babies get killed a year due to abortion. Black babies, 675,000. You see the difference? 675,000. That's a lot. And last year, hundreds, not just 9, 10, or 20, hundreds of black people died due to black on black crime. But a Black Lives Matter activist will be like, oh no, we don't want to talk about that. That has nothing to do with it. No, yeah, you're right. You're right, you don't want to talk about it and it has nothing to do with it. Because let me tell you what Black Lives Matter agenda really is. Let's peep game for a second. Pay attention. Right now, because they push to defund the police and get rid of the police. In New York, there's only 33,000 police that cover the whole 5 boroughs. 33,000. All right. But uh, right now, 35 police are signing up to retire, early retirement, a day. So by next year, only 20,000 police will be in New York because, again, they defunded the police. Therefore, the police are no longer hiring. Now, New York has about what, 8 million to 10 million people? 30,000 people can't even properly police 8 to 10 million people. So how the hell is 20,000 cops going to police 8 to 10 million people? How does that work? So now, since there's not enough cops policing a lot of these rough neighborhoods who really needed police officers, don't got a lot of police officers. A detective just called me earlier today, and he wasn't even upset. I wasn't under investigation. He called me, and he just said, Bevelyn, black detective. He says, Bevelyn, I just want to understand why you painted that mural. I just, for my own personal understanding. And I told him anything I say is on record. I mean, when I say what I say, anything I tell you is intentional. I want you to use it. But, he was like, it's not on record. It's just between me and you. I want to understand why you did it. And I broke down everything I just told you guys. And he said, you know what? You're right. 62 people got shot this weekend and 12 black men died. 12 this weekend in New York. You ain't gonna hear about those numbers. Black Lives Matter is not gonna riot for 12 black men dying in a weekend, but yet only 9 black men died last year due to white cops. So if you really want to be honest, a lot of people calling me a coon. A lot of people say that I hate myself and you hate being black and you getting paid for what you do. And you just, first of all, y'all are trolls and you got too much time on your hands to be trolling me. Second of all, you hate yourself. How can you support an organization who is basically setting you up to fail? How can you support an organization who is blatantly screaming, we have white privilege, you don't. We want to fight so that you can be equally treated like we are because they trying to put y'all back in change. You sound stupid. I wish somebody would come to my face and tell me, oh, because you black, your cards are dealt a little bit harder. So, we got to fight for you because we so sorry that we got more privilege than you got. Listen, I work, grind hard, spend harder. That's what we grew up on. If you don't work hard enough, you ain't gonna have nothing to enjoy. You can't. If you don't work to make lobster and steak money, then you can't have lobster and steak. If you work to make it, then you can eat it. If your money say McDonald's, then guess what? You eating McDonald's. If your money saying caviar, then guess what? You eating caviar. And the only person stopping you from doing that is you. You the problem. You the issue. If for you to even dare point the finger at another race and say, oh, they're the problem, they're the reason why we oppress, you a loser. And by default, you've already announced them your master. You announced it. Oh, yeah, we oppress, we this, they don't understand. These shows trying to fight for the white man just trying to, and you so easily used, huh? I'm gonna tell you right now, no white man or no black or no green or no orange person could ever use me, sweetie. I don't get used by nobody but God. Nobody but God. And a lot of Christians come up on here, oh, well, that's not the way we're supposed to fight. Oh, yeah. So we're gonna fight like you fight and do nothing. Let me tell you something. 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust because Christians did absolutely nothing. They submitted and they bound. You had maybe one, Dietrich Bonhoeffer, and 2 other people that tried to help him that were working hard to help him assassinate Hitler. And it was a failure. They didn't do a good job. He died. He got hanged. But guess what? He stood, and it wasn't many. It wasn't many that was willing to stand with this man. So we're seeing it all over again. It's a lot of people with a lot of opinions,
You on the sidelines watching. You got a lot to say from the sideline, but you ain't doing nothing. You ain't making no moves. Y'all sitting around watching y'all country burn to the ground. And if you can do it better than me, then how about you do it yourself? How about you get up yourself? How about you stand up yourself? I'll never see none of y'all at the abortion clinic. Go to a Black Lives Matter rally. Stand up, talk to the people. Go to the LGBTQ parade. Stand up, talk to the people. Go to Antifa. Stand up to them. Don't let them punk you, beat you up. Oh, no, 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 no. You'll sit at home and get on your computer and you got Twitter fingers for days. Twitter fingers for days. Yet our people are dying in the street. Chaz happened. How many people went to preach the gospel? Not as many that should have. It's so many Christians in the USA. We should have been down there preaching the gospel. It was open to us. Only a few went. And guess what happened? We went as the warning. And 2 young Black boys died. You got a Black father right on Fox, right, was on Fox crying his eyes out. Couldn't even keep his composure because his baby died. And yet you still screaming Black Lives Matter? Oh, well, we don't support the organization. We know the organization ain't for us. We just support the statement. You a lie from the pit of hell. Because at the end of the day, if you really supported the statement, why is it I only hear about the statement Black Lives Matter when the organization Black Lives Matter comes out of the closet every 4 years for elections? And if you really want to talk about Black Lives Matter, the statement Black Lives Matter ain't gonna cut it. All Black Lives Matter, all White Lives Matter, all Spanish Lives Matter, and all of the above other races. All, including the ones in the womb, including the ones getting shot in the hood, including the ones that the women that are being tossed to the side by their own men. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. But you'll go up somebody's head in a second. Y'all seen that video when we was in Brooklyn? That man was about to hit Ed May with a paint can. He was about to go upside. He was about to throw that paint can at Ed May. Black man. But just because we covered up a painting. Sorry, y'all. Just because he covered up a painting, he hit that woman. Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I ain't gonna do it. Whatever. Just because of that, right? So look. They got so upset. Y'all so upset about the fact that we covered up a painting on the street. On the street. Y'all so upset about that. But that same money could have been used to clean up the neighborhoods. In New York, y'all apartments is roach infested in the projects. Roach infested. Pisses in the hallways. Projects is dirty. 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 But then the same Black people get mad when white people come in and gentrify their neighborhoods. Gentrify your neighborhoods because y'all don't know how to take care of your own neighborhoods. So if y'all really wanted to feel special, how about he take that money that he used to paint the street and actually invest it in y'all as a people? You think he was going to do that? Hell no, because it would have defeated the point. It ain't got nothing to do with helping Black people, but it has everything to do with the political statement because he's using Black people as a pawn to make y'all think the world is just wrong. Y'all are just oppressed forever and there's nothing you can do to get up. And so we need something new. We need a new system. We need a new way out. And you know what they're going to bring to the table? Socialism. Socialism will last maybe 5 years, if that, because people greedy. And after socialism happens, guess what? Communism happens. And if communism is in the USA, we in trouble. Who going to save us? Who going to come help the USA? We the greatest country in the world. Who can help us? Who's going to be the USA to USA? Nobody. Nobody. Okay? So with that being said, if you support Black Lives Matter, if you're Black, you hate yourself. If you're white, you hate Blacks. And if you're a Christian, even if you're not a Christian, you definitely hate God because it is an anti-Christ organization. They don't want nothing to do with Jesus. They told me that when I went to their rally. They said this isn't about Jesus. This is about being Black. We don't want to talk about white Jesus. This is what they told me. Even though Jesus ain't white. This is their agenda. This is their narrative. So yeah, support them if you want to. Be a fool if you like. You on your own. I guess you hate your own people, and I guess you hate Black people if you do it. And I'm more than positive you hate Jesus if you do. And if you are a Christian who supports Black Lives Matter, I don't care whether it's a statement or whether it's the organization. You are a fraud. You're a fraud. You are a fraud if you support it. I don't care who you are. I'll tell you to your face when I see you. You are a, excuse me, you are a fraud if you support Black Lives Matter. And for those, again, who feel like we can do better, if you feel so strong about the fact that we can do better standing up for our police, you do it. Standing up for our people, you do it. Those paint cans that was dumped, that was for all the police officers that died on duty. That was all of the black men who died due to black men crime. That was for all of the babies murdered in the womb. That was for all of our ancestors who fought for our freedom. And I'm going to tell y'all something about me. I'm going to put y'all up. Let me explain something to y'all. My great-granddaddy fought in World War II. And my great-great-great-great-great-granddaddy fought in the Union. And my great-granddaddy, way back, about 7 more times, fought in the Revolution, okay? I am an African American. My roots are American. My fathers fought for my freedom in this country. This I know, okay? I watched them fold the American flag at my granddaddy's funeral while my dad was bawling his eyes out. My family fought for me to have the freedoms that I have right now, okay? And my Jesus died so that I can have the power and authority that I have right now to stand up. So if you want to waste what your fathers did for you, and if you want to waste your time sitting at home and kumbayaing, then that's what you do. But don't project your image of what God is over here, trying to put up a form of holiness but denying the power thereof, because we gonna flip tables. This is the time to flip tables. I'm calling out the tribe of Judah. It's time for the tribe of Judah to come out. Lion of Judah, come out in the name of Jesus. Come out and expose yourself before the Lord and let him know that you're ready. All the Davids come out, because there is a giant Philistine taunting the living God and his armies. And we are not going to stand for it. We're going to crack him upside his head with a pebble and cut his head off and bring it back to our camp. This is what we do to these uncircumcised Philistines who challenge God. And anybody who feel like you don't want to do it that way, that's okay. That's okay. The Israelites didn't really agree with David. A lot of his brothers definitely were snarking and mocking when he came. But guess what? That Philistine head is coming off. And no matter what you do, no matter how much you don't like it, heads is getting cut off. And that's what we gonna do as Christians, the real ones. So with that said, I love you guys. Y'all keep me in prayer. I'm so tired. I'm taking these 2 days off. Listen, it's a Twitter account. I need everybody and their mama to go and flag that Twitter account. It's not me. Y'all, I don't have Twitter. I don't have time to be on Twitter. I would not have the time to rest. So they still put the correct donation links. So I don't think they're trying to steal from me. But bro, that's just not cool. Like, you just don't make fake pages. Like, that's lame. Like, just don't do that. That's so lame. Just y'all flag that page. Get them out of there. Flag that, because that's just whack. Like, no. I got Facebook only. I got Instagram only, and I got YouTube only. I don't have nothing else. So get rid of it, flag it. God bless y'all. No GoFundMes are open for me. If you see GoFundMes, flag them, get rid of them. I have no GoFundMe pages. Okay, no GoFundMe pages. Flag them, get rid of them. Okay, y'all. God bless y'all. I love y'all, and I holla back.
All right. That was pretty long, but I think she made her point. I think she more than made her point there. So, if you got questions, if you got comments, I mean, you can take them directly to her. She's not, I think she's very direct. So, once again, I'd like to thank everybody for joining me on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn, which I think she was very, here again, whether you're Christian or not, I think she believes in what she's speaking. And I think you can tell that. I think she's, whatever, if you want to call it an agenda, that's your right to do. But I think, if you believe in I don't think that was a performance. If it was a performance, then I think she's going to get it. Then she would get an award for it. I mean, it's more than passion that I see there. I think she's coming from a genuine place. And I think it's more than enough. And like I said, I think you're going to see a lot more from her. Yeah, I mean, and she basically kind of called out. She called out people that kind of because I'm sure she's heard about people talking about her methods and this kind of a bit, but she's going to do what she does. It's basically what she's saying. She's like, you're not going to stop me. You do what you want to do, but this is what I'm doing. And I think you can respect that, if nothing else. But I do believe she called out, I think she called out a lot of hypocrisy. She called out a lot of hypocrisy. Yes, I agree, Chrysler. She's very, very, very powerful. And yeah, she was arrested, I think, a couple of months ago. They've been arrested quite a few times at Planned Parenthood. So I think, yeah, I mean, I've seen some people say, "Oh, well, I think these people are out for trying to get their 15 minutes of fame." Well, I guess they've gotten it, right? They've been to jail about 12 times, I think, roughly. You can fact check that if you want, but so I mean, I'm curious. I'm definitely, they've got my attention without a doubt, and I think they're going to stand up for what they believe in. So yeah, very interesting stuff. And once again, I'd like to thank everybody for joining me on this Moonlight live stream. And I'll go ahead and do my final shout outs. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Shout out to Kimon Reed, Unstoppable. Thank you guys so much for coming in and doing your due diligence on the Channelytics. I'm going to read a comment here. Keith Faith says, yes, she did. She called out all those fake blacks that always tell us we hate ourselves. Oh, yeah, I think there's a lot more where that came from. So, to put it in short, I think, how does the saying go? She can hold her own. So if you're probably going to, anything you put out is going to come back and just going to come back directly. In fact, she's called out some specific people. So, I guess you put your money where your mouth is what I'm thinking that she's saying overall. Whatever you say you come in the name of, she's telling you put your money where your mouth is. That's what she says she's doing. So, shout out to, Keith the Faith. I'm so glad, I wasn't going to do it, but I figured, I had some things ready to go today, and I didn't want to spoil them all. So tomorrow will be a different day, of course, and different things. But tomorrow will be the 10 PST. That's the regular time, 10 PST, and West Coast. I mean, on the East Coast, that's 1 o'clock time. Central Standard Time, it's 12 o'clock, and Mountain Time, I might even say it was 11 o'clock time. So guess I'll catch you guys back here tomorrow. So thank you so much for coming out. Keep the faith, and happy birthday. Stream, I guess today or yesterday was your birthday. Not sure where you're coming to us from, Keith the Faith, on this. Maybe it's Tuesday for you already, but thanks. I decided to change things up a little bit, and I need to revamp some things. So that's just one of the things that I'm working on. Some more things to come, more changes to come. Arizona, very nice. I've been to Arizona in quite a few months now, but nice place, Arizona. And let's see, shout out but happy birthday to Keith the Faith. And I'm not sure how old you are, but it is going by fast. Oh, Kimon Reed, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming. I'll look forward to seeing you. The 18th. Very cool, very cool. Happy birthday to you. Shout out to Chrysler Imperial H. And I said I was rounding out, but I always kind of get stuck. I kind of get in my way. But I can see, she's basically, this is Beverly Beatty that I'm going back to. She talks about her own heritage. She talks about she's basically professing her, look, America is a part of me, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of my family. heritage. And I'm proud of the sacrifices that they made. And the only thing I will say, I don't necessarily go with. I'm not a fan of the term African American, because it's a segregative kind of a title. You're American, but but you're an African American, but that's another story, another channel. So yeah, but I appreciate everything that I appreciate her passion, and it appears to be genuine, and I guess I'm sure there's going to be more to come. Keith the Face is over 50. No way, no way, no way. That's golden. That's still very awesome. Still very awesome, Keith the Face. Chrysler Imperial Age, thank you so much for all that you do. And hopefully I'll have an announcement for you guys. Maybe later this week there'll be an announcement for the next. There'll be an announcement for a guest announcement coming down the road. So we'll see what that looks like. I might have that for you. Chrysler. He says I'm over 50 as well. See? We've all got things in common around here. Really appreciate it. See there? Keith the Face says people think I'm 37. See, Chrysler, you're in your 20s, 20-ish, 20-something-ish. So I appreciate you guys. Come on, Read Unstoppable. Thank you so much for coming in. See who else is around. Alien Believers. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming in. Who else is here? Or who else was here, rather? I kind of get into my way. Oh, I'm going to round it out. I'm going to round it out here. Let's see. Shout out to the Definition of Anarchy. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm going back through. Shout out to Killer Whale Channels that was in earlier. And Medicity. Shout out to you. Shout out. And Adrian, shout out to you. Thank you so much for coming in. I think I'm winding it down here. I really appreciate everyone. Let's see. He says, I'm light skinned and we age pretty well in my family. Excellent. See, there you got good genes. There you go. You can't beat it. Chrysler says there's times where I do feel my age. There's times where I don't. That's a good, that's nice. It's nice. Who else do I have? Kimon. Yeah, good night. Good night to you. Kimon Read Unstoppable. Really appreciate you for coming in, and thanks so much to everybody for coming in. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. And yeah, so like I said, it should be regularly scheduled time tomorrow. And I'm sure we'll have more things going on. We're not short on things happening around here, that's for sure. All right, guys, have a great rest of the night or the morning, wherever you are.